If you haven't heard this one before, allow me to break the news to you. Reasonable prices scare clients away. And not because they're too high, but because they're too normal. Middle of the road pricing doesn't signal value. It doesn't signal expertise. It signals uncertainty. And uncertainty is the biggest deal killer in freelance work. Clients don't buy work. They buy certainty of specific outcomes. So here's the real question we're tackling today. Why do reasonable prices make clients run, and what should you do instead? And then once you understand that, what price actually makes clients feel the most confident hiring you? Let's break it down. So here's the quick answer. Clients don't choose based on your price. They choose based on what your price means. Pricing isn't a number. It's a form of communication, right? So low prices signal commodity. High prices signal expertise, and reasonable prices signal risk. Clients don't know how to evaluate your skill. They're not designers. They're not editors. They're not strategists or marketers. They evaluate confidence, clarity, and risk. And price is the fastest proxy for all three. If you're shopping for a service that you know nothing about, and you've got 4 options in front of you, and one of them is, 4 times the price of the other 3, which of those 4 options do you assume has the best answer or is the best at what they do? This is why fair, reasonable, middle of the pack pricing loses more deals than any of the other options. So the deeper question becomes, how do you use price as a trust building tool and not a discounting tool? And I broke it down into 5 sections. Section 1, the pricing dead zone, right? In tennis, no man's land is the worst place that you can stand on the court. It's where you're too close to the net to defend and you're too far from the net to attack. So you can't volley, you can't rally, you can't control the point. You just sit there and get punished until you lose it. There's an identical no man's land in freelance pricing. It's a middle zone where you're not cheap enough to play the volume game and you're not expensive enough to feel elite. That's the dead zone, and it punishes freelancers the same way. You sit right between cheap and elite, and clients have no mental drawer to put you in. So dead zone pricing makes you look like you're not confident, you're not experienced, and you're not worth the risk. You and everyone else that are all priced the same, right in the middle there, are all communicating to clients, it doesn't really matter which one of us you pick. We kind of all offer the same thing. You're not going to get anything special here. Pros avoid that dead zone at all costs. But why is the middle so dangerous? Answer to that question reveals how clients actually make decisions. So let's talk a little buyer psychology here. Clients don't compare your work, they compare their risk. When a client scans your price, they're really asking, how much hand-holding is this project going to require? Is this thing going to stay on the tracks? Will they understand the context of my business and my industry? Will choosing them make me look cool to my boss, right? Or careless? Your price becomes the fastest way they estimate all of that. High prices signal that you've got a defined process, clear boundaries, and experience handling things before they become problems. Low prices signal no downside, which appeals to buyers who just need a task done. But reasonable prices, they signal ambiguity. A client can't tell if you're a rising pro or someone who's plateaued and still can't quite figure it out. And ambiguity is the risk that clients, absolutely avoid the most. If you want to avoid perceived risk instantly, your price needs to match the certainty of your offer. When your price clearly aligns with the size of the problem you solve, clients feel safer moving forward, right? Unknown risk is the scariest kind to them. And reasonable pricing creates nothing but questions. So reasonable pricing is out. How do the pros price instead? Elite freelancers anchor their pricing around outcomes, not deliverables. They don't say, here's what I'll make you. They say, here's what the thing I make you will make you. Here's the business problem this solves. Here's the conversion leak this closes. Here's the bottleneck that this frees up. Run every client problem through a quick 3-part clarity check. What's the cost of the current problem? If the client's losing customers, revenue, time, momentum, pros estimate the magnitude. Even if it's a rough estimate, the price always correlates with the pain, never the task. 2, what's the value of the solved problem? Fixing, a broken onboarding email might have a $5K a month value. Fixing a leaky funnel could be worth 6 figures depending on the business. So you price according to the value of the result, not the workload included in solving or in optimizing for that result. And then number 3 is, what level of certainty does the client need? If the client is stressed or behind schedule or under pressure from leadership, certainty becomes a premium, and your pricing should reflect that. This simple clarity check, which it should be running on every project, it's not just a one-off, it should be done individually, reinforces your positioning. If your price feels random, your value feels random, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. But what about freelancers who are afraid that a high price will scare clients off, or that, they're already having trouble finding clients at this price? How the hell are they going to find clients at the next price? Well, let's talk about it. The answer for that question is just another reason for you to do it. Clients don't just judge your expertise by your price, they judge your expertise by your capacity. Clients assume expensive freelancers are busy, and busy freelancers must be in demand or selective and worth waiting for. Cheap or reasonable pricing creates the opposite. If you're priced in the middle, clients instinctively think you have open calendar space, which raises a hidden fear. If this person had a full pipeline, they wouldn't be charging this. High prices create the feeling that you're operating at or near capacity. Capacity means demand means safety, and this is why clients trust premium providers and even find themselves pitching to them. The price itself implies you're consistently hired, you're consistently producing results, and you're consistently sought after. Reasonable pricing telegraphs the opposite. Before you quote any number, ask, what does this price signal about me? Does it signal expertise or hesitation? Leadership or accommodation? Clarity or compromise? Certainty or uncertainty? If your price doesn't make you a little nervous, it's not projecting confidence. But just remember, it's not a math equation. It's a trust equation. If it doesn't match the transformation, raise it. Reasonable is risky. And not because fair is bad, but because fair is forgettable. Clients choose based on certainty. And next to recent examples of past success, pricing is the best way that a freelancer can communicate certainty. Now, if you want more tactical content like this in your life, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button, hit the little thumbs up, leave a comment with any questions about this particular topic. And if you want to take it a step further, check the link in the description and join 1,300 other freelancers in the freelancing program. It's a community of like-minded individuals who are all in growth mode. We do weekly meetups. There's over 20 hours of video content, and you can bring your questions and your goals and your obstacles to me and my team, and we'd be happy to help you strategize. All right, I'll see you guys soon.